just say you hate basketball. I was called a hater when I said this, and now the guy that drafted LeBron is saying it.
You know, one of the things that we really benefited from was we were in a historically bad Eastern Conference. And all through those years, we really knew the target is the Western Conference team. There was nobody in the East who was really going to be in the way.
Yeah. Right. The East was the LeBron Invitational for all of those years.
That now. I think what ended up happening ultimately along the way was it changed our perspective to such a degree that you saw us. Even the first year we were together, I think we were 19-20 in our first 39 games, and then we run off this historic run in the second half of the season. But guys weren't taking the season seriously. There was no part of me that believed we were losing. And it was one of those things that I just believed to the core of me, but it was because I felt like the only way we could win was to dig the hole we dug. That group needed it to be like that.
That's wild, isn't it?
For whatever reason, they were so spoiled by success and needed it to be so damn difficult. They put themselves in a position that only they could overcome. But that was the greatness of that group. They lived for make it messy. What Ty Lue did at halftime to challenge LeBron, there's going to be a 30 for 30 on that moment and what it really did to LeBron. He was the best of his angels that second half in a way that he couldn't have been without Ty Lue. And Ty knew it. And to have the gift he had at that moment for handling that situation, and then for our locker room to deal with Ty Lue going at him the way they did, and to redirect LeBron to get the benefit out of it, that's a James Jones thing. That's a Channing Frye thing. That's an RJ thing. That's a J.R. Smith thing. That's a look, man, is he right?
Interesting, because for years, whenever we said LeBron was cakewalking through the Eastern Conference for his 8 straight finals trips, it was called hate. It was called trolling. It was called disrespect. When really it was just facts. And now the former general manager of the Cavs is saying that making the finals now would be a bigger accomplishment than it was back then. Foresight is easy if you're looking for the truth. And there's numbers to back up what he's saying, because only 43 out of 135 All-NBA players were from the East during those 9 finals runs. And out of those 43 Eastern Conference players, 14 of them were LeBron's teammates. So that means he actually only played against 29 All-NBA players in these 9 finals runs. And only 1 of them was on the first team. Like I said back then, if you consolidate your competition, especially onto your team, there are less good teams to play against. Being the best player in the conference, then going and playing with the 2 next best players in the conference to beat up on everybody else in the conference, crazy, insane, diabolical, bronze-sexual. And that's what makes some of the losses and even some of the close calls hurt even more. Your GM can see how historically bad the conference is, but you're going 7 games against Victor Oladipo and the Pacers. You're going 7 games against second-year Jason Tatum and rookie Jaylen Brown. You're going to 7 games with a 22-year-old Paul George. This is all after losing to the Magic and the Celtics while playing on a 60-win team. Before 2011, LeBron only beat one 50-win team in the playoffs. And of course, he'll never live this down. D-Wade is running out of excuses and trying to tell us that him having to guard Jason Terry is what kept them from winning the championship. Him, JJ Barea, Sean Marion, and of course, Dirk Nowitzki, all good players, none better than LeBron. These are the losses and close calls that made y'all think David Griffin was tripping. And these comparisons to Mike and Kobe just continue to not add up, because they have multiple playoff runs where they had to face 3 50-win teams in order to win a championship, and they did. LeBron's never had to face more than 2 50-win teams for a championship, and he's got a couple rings where he didn't have to face a 50-win team at all. And as a Laker, LeBron only has 1 playoff win against a 50-win team, and it was the Grizzlies. Context matters. So at the end of the day, do you know more than the GM? The guy who was there planning and plotting against this? Or can we finally stop treating finals appearances like they're as good as wins? Because Jimmy Butler leading more teams to the finals than Nikola Jokic doesn't make them better. But hey, if your GOAT dominates a weak conference for a decade just to still have a losing record in the finals,